Now, this particular coupler, inline coupler, is a bit of a tight fitting and not something I can manipulate single-handedly, I don't think. But yes, you'll probably notice that the assembly is a bit floppy, and the reason for that is it doesn't need to be screwed up and tightened up to the extreme. Its purpose is simply just to drain the wort from the grain and leave the bed behind. So, you know, a bit of free movement won't hurt, and it allows a bit of flexibility when you fit in the thing in as well. Nice and simple. I think it cost me £9 in fittings for the draining system, and the copper pipe was kindly donated by Kelv. The tap, the Viking ball valve tap, I picked up on eBay for a reasonable £9, and the cooler itself was £24 for 28 litres. And that's it. Very, very simple. Just a drill, bit of time taken, careful measuring, a perfectly viable mash tun, and one I can't wait to use. Which, I'm going to put the lid back on here, brings me on to the next bit of DIY homebrew equipment, which is this fella. Although I've not undertaken any work on it yet. And what we have here, if I bring it forward and spin it around, is a stainless steel type stock pot with nice finishing. Now, I had no dimensions for this pot at all. When I bought it, I saw it, it was cheap. I bought it because I could see its potential, and I actually purchased this for £29.99. And what I propose to do, like the excuse me, like the Thermos mash tun conversion, I've got another tap which I will fit along the side somewhere. On the inside of that will go that device, and that is your hop filter, which is a T-fitting, 15mm approximately, with some stainless steel gauze clamped to it. Could have made something myself, but I'd rather go with the proper fitting for that. So there it is. So that will become eventually a boiler for boiling the strike water, sparge water, and finally boiling off the wort before it goes into the fermenting vessel. The only other thing I need to source for this guy is a boiler element. Now I know some people use kettle elements, but I'm not a fan of that. I've read that quite a few people have had them go quite early on them. I mean, in truth, they're not designed to boil for 90 minutes, 2 hours anyway. You're better off spending that bit extra on getting yourself a proper boiler element, which is designed and has a lifespan to do what it's designed to do. I mean, kettle elements, 5-10 minutes max, they've done the job, they cool down. Beer boilers, 90 minutes. Oh, I should point out that this guy, I did work him out, is 41, well, just over 41 litres. So, quite ample for a 40 pint batch. And now, I've deliberately left these in the box because I don't want to be responsible for any spillage. So what we've got here is 4 kilos of Maris Otter's pale malt, if I remember correctly. 100 grams of Challenger hops, 100 grams of Fuggles hops. Excuse me about the camera shaky. Trying to open things one-handed. We have, I believe, a kilo, yes, 1 kilo of wheat malt. And a kilo of crystal malt. With that we have super nutrients, 2 packets of basic nutrients, which are here and here, 2 packets, some Protoflock tablets, some of you might know them as Wellflock or similar. I'm sure they do the same sort of thing. Basically, they're, for those of you who don't know, when you've boiled your wort or you're boiling your wort, you place one of these, let's see if I can open this, one of these guys into your wort about 10 or 15 minutes before flame out, and this just helps all the proteins and all the rubbish congeal in the wort when you cool it, and they all fall to the bottom and form a bit of a solid bed. And last but not least, although this wasn't ordered from the same place, we have some Drunken English ale yeast at 11 grams of. Now the rest of the ingredients were purchased from a place I've just discovered called Barley Bottom, and I do find the prices to be quite reasonable, having done a recipe comparison on a couple of sites. This particular recipe that these ingredients are for is a beer called Jacob, and this was a recipe by Jimmy the Brewer on YouTube, whose method includes the cooler conversion, so we should be following that sort of closely, and we're going to replicate his recipe. Something nice and simple to start out with. I've never done a mash, an all grain mash before. All my brewing has been kit, so this will be a first. I should point out that this is a split batch. Kelvin and myself will be brewing this, so whatever we get, we're going to 50-50 on, and this will be our all grain mash, a first, should I say. And yeah, and there we have it. That's everything. So yeah, an excuse to check out the camcorder, and an excuse to show you some brewing bits. You have to excuse the narration and the cameraman. Not really much room to move in here, and I couldn't get myself in a long shot, so it was all filmed by hand. So you have to excuse that. And hopefully we can get some shots of the all grain mash when we do it. So see you then. Thanks for watching.